Linda found out if somebody wants to sign up and they got the bookings, yeah, you'll sign up. So that's what I do. 2 times you're going to talk to your hostess in person, when she books and the night of her show. All right, we have 2 10-minute sessions writing thank you notes. Ladies, your mother was right. A handwritten note is one of the nicest of ways to express your thanks. How many of you like to get a handwritten note in the mail? Isn't that nice? Occasionally I'll get a handwritten note, and it is the nicest thing in the world. I save them because it's so rare. It's as rare as a $2 bill to get a thank you note. You get a thank you note, it gives you that warm fuzzy inside. You want to send 2 thank you notes to your hostess. When she books the show, that night, when you get out in your car, scribble a thank you note to her, have them in your bag so that it's all ready to go the next morning. Pop it in the mail the next day, and of course in that thank you note you're going to put a little reminder to get the guest list back to you as soon as possible. When I was new to doing shows and I started sending the thank you note, that's when I started getting the guest list back. Now I tell them I have to have the guest list back before I close the hostess' show, and I get it back immediately. But that was a wonderful incentive to help get it back. And then you're going to send another thank you note at the very end, after her show is closed. One of the things you can do with the late thank you note, we were talking about this earlier today in New Start Training, it's called the Delivery Day Special. Instead of doing the follow-up thank you note, the very last one, you do want to send a thank you note when she books. That's to keep her excited about her party. After her show is closed and you see the ship notification that she has received her jewelry, give her a phone call. This is your little extra bonus tip tonight. Give her a phone call and say, hey, I saw you got your jewelry, is everything there? You're double checking with her that she has all her jewelry, making sure if it's something's back ordered, you can explain it to her, let her know when the jewelry is going to be coming in. Let her know it's coming by mail, not by UPS. And then tell her, hey, I've got a deal for you. When you are delivering all of the jewelry, if you get somebody to book a show who did not already book one, because you know Susie and Jane already booked theirs, so this does not apply to Susie and Jane. If you can get somebody to book a show for me, at that show I will give you blank. It can be a $25 gift certificate. It can be a free hostess bonus item up to $100. Something that you choose that you know that hostess wants. What you're doing is you're going for the late booking here. Then you make sure you call her back and follow through. Did you get anybody to book the party? You would be amazed how many people, once they get their jewelry, they're like, oh, I should have booked a show. They're never going to call you. So this is a way to catch that late booking. And it works, you know, probably 1 in 5 times. When you call her, it's good customer service, number 1, to call her, make sure everything's okay with the order. But number 2, you can pick up that late booking with the delivery day special. So there's a little extra something for you. You need to spend 2 10-minute sessions getting ready for a show. Now, what do I say when I say you're getting ready for a show? What are things you do to get ready? Hostess packets. What else?
Recruit packets.
Recruit packets. Excellent. What else?
Show folders that have all the info in it.
Show folders that have the info. What else?
Make sure your jewelry's on order.
Make sure your jewelry's in order because, you know, putting together a tangled kit at a show can be very nerve-wracking. Trust me, I know. What else do you do to get ready for a show? Get dressed. For me, that takes 10 minutes. I don't know about you, but
Decide what jewelry I'm going to wear.
decide what jewelry you're going to wear. What else are you going to do?
Decide what game you're going to play.
Decide what game you're going to play. There are a lot of little decisions that as you get more and more familiar with doing shows, you can do this in 2 10-minute sessions. You can quickly straighten out your jewelry. You can look at your pack and make sure you've got everything in line. But if you take time and set it aside to prepare for a show and go to a show, people will be able to tell whether or not you were prepared or not. If you go in and you're missing your hostess packets, you don't have your order forms, your jewelry's a mess, people are not going to want to book with you. Your sales are going to be down. The presentation you present, the appearance of the presentation is just as important as what the words are you say. If you are dressed and you don't look like you are there to present a nice product, that's going to reflect on you. If your jewelry is a mess or your trays are dirty or if your catalogs are torn, that all reflects back on you. You want to give the best presentation you can, and part of that is the appearance of your jewelry, the appearance of yourself, the appearance of your supplies that you have with you. 20 minutes before a show can take care of that. If you plan on that, that will make a difference in you getting the orders. It will make a difference in you getting bookings.
Can I add to that?
Dina, add to it.
Also, you're talking a lot about the physical preparation for a show, but it is also very important to mentally prepare. Kind of go through, like maybe even just the first 60 seconds of your show, what you're going to say. Because a lot of times, especially if you're nervous and it's your first show, if you don't mentally prepare, you might not know where to start, what to say, and you might be stumbling over your words and not sure where to begin. So just kind of mentally prepare. Have your first 60 seconds of your presentation down. And usually once you get through that first 60 seconds, the rest of it just kind of flows. So do the mental preparation as well.
And walk into every show going, I'm going to get the 10 and 2. I'm going to have 10 orders and 2 bookings no matter what happens. I don't care how many people are here. Prepare it in your head that it's going to happen. That's when it starts happening. 2 10-minute sessions, getting to know people at a show. When you get there, if you sit in a corner and you don't talk to anybody, it's going to be really hard for you to get bookings. You've got to talk to people. If you're not comfortable talking to people, you're going to have to practice. And the more you practice, the better you will get at it. There's a lovely line in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice in which Elizabeth Bennet says, you know, I knew I could be better at the piano, but I always thought it was my own fault because I didn't spend the time practicing. And I like that line because she knew she could be good at it if she practiced, but it was not a priority to her to practice playing the piano. So I look at this and go, okay, is it a priority for you to practice being sociable, to get to know people at a show? It needs to be a priority for you. You need to learn how to do small talk, how to talk to people, how to engage people in conversation. This seemed relatively minor. Oh, I don't need to practice that. You do need to practice it because when you're in a show environment and you're presenting something and you want people to invite you into their home, you need to learn to master the art of small talk. When you're sitting and talking to someone, some of the things you want to do, you want to smile. People are more receptive to people who smile. One of those little facts. And another thing you want to do is when appropriate, you want to touch somebody. I talk with my hands, so it's very easy. You all have noticed how much my hands have been flying. And don't you love this Rue Royale? Kim gave it to me tonight. I'm like, I'm wearing it tonight because my arm is going to be flying, and you are all going to be going, ooh, what is that? It is the Rue Royale bracelet. I think it's gorgeous. It got earrings, and Elissa has the matching rings. It's like a pipe. It's beautiful.
It's like a pipe.
It's so long.
It's like a pipe fitting. My husband's like, that looks like something you could get in the hardware store. Really, it's like a pipe. It's the Egyptian. It's gorgeous.
So when you are talking to somebody, if you're a hand talker, you've actually got a benefit because if I'm talking to Amy, as you can see, I immediately turn to her and I put my hand on her shoulder. A shoulder is a very safe place to touch, and a hand is a safe place to touch. Those are the only 2 places you would ever want to touch a stranger. On the shoulder and on the hand. Okay? And if you broke somebody, I don't want to know about it. Don't want to know about it. When you touch somebody, they are more likely to remember you, and they are more likely to be more receptive to you. We did this during a New Start presentation, and to this day, that New Start presentation stands out in my mind. I remember who the advisor was, what we talked about, what her daughter's name is. Now, that is extremely rare for me to not only remember where somebody was in the room, what their name was, what their daughter's name is, the age of the daughter. Why? Because we were doing a demonstration which we talked, and I put my hand on her shoulder, the connection, and you know, I asked her about it when I talked to her the other day. I said, do you remember New Start training? She goes, yeah, I was your demo, and you put your hand on my shoulder. I remember that. It was very funny. We made the connection, and it's been almost 2 years just because of physical touch. So use proper body language and proper touch, Angela. Now we know how Angela got all of her bookings.